Hi everybody, my name is Jenny. I'm doing the HCG diet and I'm also sharing on my channel any kind of information I have to help you become successful in your weight loss journey, things I learned for myself. My channel is largely about HCG, so if you go back and you're interested in doing it, you watch those videos. I am still on HCG right now, but I am doing some other topics on the videos that kind of help everybody in weight loss, including those on HCG. So I went back and looked at some numbers today, and I noticed the first time I went on HCG, which was about 2 months ago, I guess we would say. Yeah, it was April 6th, I loaded. All right. So on that round, I did 30 days on that round. We went until the 7th. That was a load day, so really 30 actual days on P2. And I lost 17.8 pounds in those 30 days. So that was hugely successful. That is a good round. And then I started trying to take notes of what I did for the next like 3 weeks. I can't even tell you. I should say 4 weeks, because in 2 days it's going to be the 7th again. It went up, it went down, it went up, it went down, I went off, I went on. I kind of started doing some HCG. I just decided to try to eat like HCG without taking I just did a little bit of everything. And that's simply because I was put in many, many situations with vacations and food and work related, a weekend in the Amish country, graduations. There was just a plethora of food around, and it was impossible to stay on HCG. So I just kind of tried to do my best. Couple times there would be almost like 5 days in a row where I didn't even try to do my best. I just kind of went, oh, we'll start HCG again in a little bit. Other times I was much more focused and like, no, I'm not going to let myself get too far out of control. So we would say that this is pretty much a pretty good yo-yo up and down for a month, almost a month. And then I would say I ended up after a scrapbooking retreat weekend. All right, so going into last weekend's scrapbooking retreat, I said I kind of went up and down, up and down, up and down for the month. I was just 3 pounds over, almost 3.5, but we'll round down. We'll say I was only 3 pounds up from where I was when I ended my HCG round. So, all in all, knowing all that food that I was around, I was shocked when I looked at the numbers and realized I really didn't do that poorly. But this is where water retention and everything comes in. So, my scrapbooking retreat weekend, yes, there was a lot of ridiculously inappropriate diet foods. Nothing to do with the diet when you eat in the Amish country. And I had these big buffets that I was serving to women. I was in charge of the entire event. I had like 55 women there for the entire weekend. So I was there from Thursday until Sunday night. And then I have leftovers that came home into my refrigerator too. So the couple days after that, you know, if you have homemade mashed potatoes from the Amish country in your refrigerator, do you say I'm starting HCG that day? No, not unless it's a load day. So I did eat I had a piece of the Amish pie, apple pie that was left over, and I had the mashed potatoes. I had some of the roast beef, which I kind of could sort of cheat and try to have the roast beef on the HCG diet, but you shouldn't. And I had a couple of the desserts that were bread. That's what it was. It wasn't desserts. I didn't eat any of the other desserts. I ate a piece of pie. I didn't even enjoy it that much. I'm not a big sweets fan, so I regretted the pie. There are some apple pies I absolutely love, but this wasn't one of them. And it was in the past, though. They made it different than they used to. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. Bread. I came home with a gazillion croissant rolls, which, mind you, are amazing, warmed up with a little bit of melted butter. And the Costco sells the strawberry preserve jam with all these huge hunks of strawberries in it. I mean, it's like eating a fresh strawberry and spreading that on it. Oh, okay. I should not be sharing this information with you. This is what had to get out of the house before I could do HCG again. All right, so before I go, I am only 3 pounds up from where I was. A month goes by, I'm 3 pounds up. I'm so proud of myself. Well, more like 2 weeks go by, 2.5 weeks go by. And then the Amish country happens. Let's see, let me figure out how much did I gain in those 4 days according to the scale. I was 6.4 pounds, it said on the scale. Yeah, 6.4 pounds. Crazy. Crazy. Okay, so now we know. Well, we don't know because I can't just completely overindulge, and I didn't do that, but I ate whatever was presented to me. So, and then there were snacks around throughout, and I would snack every now and then, but I wasn't a glutton where it was a constant, like like we do sometimes when we try to load. That wasn't the situation. Nevertheless, 6.4 pounds. So I'm thinking there's no way I ate enough calories to really gain 6.4 pounds. In addition to that, I was sitting a lot or walking a lot of walking, a lot of sitting. And when I'm home, I do most of my work with my laptop on a little laptop table on my bed, so my feet are up and they're elevated. So, water retention happens when you're on your feet a lot or if you're sitting a lot, which is what I did all weekend long, with the exception of just about 6 hours in bed sleeping. And I could just tell it was in my fingers now, but especially in my ankles and feet, like blowfish. All right. So I then, let's see, loaded for 2 days, gained 1 pound during that loading. And why? Did I not load well? No, I loaded well. I ate plenty of food. I only gained 1 pound in those 2 days of loading because the vast amount of water retention that I had from sitting around, from eating the bulk, vast amount of food, and from the amount of salt that's in Amish cooking. All right. So I only gained 1 pound, and then I started on HCG. So we are on 1, 2, 3. I'm only on day 3. It says I've lost 5.3 pounds. And I only gained 1 in loading. So 5.3 would not be unusual in 3 days, but I usually gain about 4 in my 2 days of loading, if all things being equal leading up to it. This is just showing my body regulating and getting rid of all the extra water. Water weighs a lot. So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about briefly before I read the things is just not to be so hard on yourself. So many people say once you get off a low carb diet or once you get off HCG, your weight just boom flies back up and you gain it all back right away again. One, I noticed in that 2.5 week period of time, I had gained 3 pounds. Not bad considering we were going out to restaurants and eating out a lot and having desserts, which I normally don't do. Again, I don't have a huge sweet tooth, but give me something really good for dessert and I will enjoy it. Homemade, we did a homemade almond cake with almond frosting. We celebrated. We had 2 graduations, a college and a high school, so festivities were had. Um, but even in all of that, only 3 pounds. So don't worry too much about it. And then I kind of went back on HCG for a little bit. I went back off it. I went back on. I went back off it. But then leading up to the weekend, all of a sudden, what did I say it was? Did I write it down? I don't think I wrote it down. 6.4 pounds. 6.5 pounds over the course of the weekend. This is because I'm not used to eating carbs. I'm not used to having that vast amount of salt. I'm not used to being on my feet or sitting for that period of time. In addition to the fact that I ate a lot of food. But keep that in your mind. So if you get off HCG and then you're not monitoring yourself well enough when it comes to your carbs and sugars, then yes, your weight might go up, but fear not, you're not stuck there right away. If you can pull yourself together, you can bring it right back down again. You have to pull yourself together, and that's probably why Dr. Simeon says don't let yourself go more than 2 pounds over. and then you need to do an adjustment to get it back down again, because it will come down again. It will come down again. All right, that being said, I'm nowhere near the weight that I need to be. So my goal is a good another 10 pounds in this round. Yeah, I need to lose 10 pounds in this round because I need to lose about 20 pounds by the end of October. And those last pounds are going to be much harder than these earlier pounds. So I really need to get 10 pounds off. Plus, I don't think any of my bathing suits fit me. And I really wanted to go to the water park next week, but I don't know what I'm even going to wear. I don't know what I'm going to wear. I mean, I'm sure I can find a bathing suit to squeeze into, but do I want to? There's always that fear you run into somebody you know. And that would not be great. I don't mind doing it in my own backyard, but we got rid of our pool, tore it down when the kids stopped going in it. So, yeah. All right, a lot of jammering, but I just kind of found those numbers interesting today, and I thought I'd go ahead and share it with you. And it gave me a little bit of encouragement to know, okay, Jenny, you're not doing too poorly. You're not doing too poorly. Yes, you gained 6.4, but you've already lost 5.3. So I am only 1.1 pound away from being where I was at the end of the last round, which was a month ago. So I'm very happy with that. And then I'll really feel like, okay, let's kick this into gear and let's do some serious weight loss because I need to. All right, so we were talking yesterday about 10 reasons why you still want to eat even when you feel full. All right, so I read to you the 10 reasons, and that's in yesterday's video if you want to review. The first three are pretty short in terms of the little bit of information that they provided, so I'm going to read three. I said I'd read probably two, but we're going to read three. The number one reason why you might eat. Wait, can I just sidestep for a second here? I'm sorry. Yesterday, it was in the evening-ish time, like 6 or 7, something like that. And I just wanted to eat. I had around 4 o'clock, I had my, if I have a chance while I'm talking to you, I'll pull up her name because somebody sent me wonderful recipes and made me very happy. Let me see if I can find her name. Anyway, there's a chicken salsa recipe that she shared with me, and it was Tiffany Martin. Oh, Tiffany. I'm telling you, that is the best recipe. I'm still loving it, and I have a vat of it in my refrigerator in a bowl. I have a whole bowl of ground up turkey that I put taco seasonings with. So I have ground turkey, and I have this ground chicken, and I have this shredded chicken with just salsa. That's it, chicken and salsa, made in a crock pot. I mean, so simple, so P2 friendly, and I love it. So I put it on a low carb tortilla, soft tortilla, carb control tortilla with, I think they have 2 carbs in them. I did put a little bit of mozzarella on it and then a ton of lettuce on top and ate it. I finished eating it and I didn't feel full, and I normally do on HCG. And I thought, well, okay, it was pretty good, and it still was under the 500 calories for the day. I think it's like 288 calories I figured for one of those. So, or maybe the taco was 280. No, I don't remember. Anyway, it's around that. So I went and I made another one, and then I finished it, and then I was doing things on my laptop, and I was working, and I just thought, gosh, I would sure love to go get a third one, but I'm not going to let myself. And then I looked at the clock, and I'm like, oh, it's 7 o'clock. It's time for my evening drops. That's why I'm hungry. I didn't take the drops. I'll take the drops. I'll be fine. So I reached over to get the drops on the table where I keep them, and they weren't there. And then I remembered earlier in the day, like around 1 o'clock, I reached over to get them for my second dose of the day because I take them 3 times a day. I reached over to grab them and they weren't there, and I'm like, oh, they were still in the bathroom. I had moved them in the morning for whatever reason. I must have been taking them as I was walking, and I had left them on the bathroom sink. So in the middle of the day, I went to grab them. They weren't there, and I had my laptop on my lap. I was in the middle of doing things. I had papers all over and that. I'm like, I'll get it later. I never got them later. And then I forgot it. So then I went and ate my lunch when I was hungry around 4, and then I went and had a second sandwich when I was hungry around 4, and then about 5:30, I was hungry again. And then kind of put it out of my mind and then kept thinking later on in the day, I just want to eat more food. I'm having a hard time with HCG this round. Well, guess what? I didn't have HCG in my system. I didn't I didn't take the second dose, and then at that point I needed to take the third dose too. I'll tell you what, I took that dose. I didn't double up or anything like that. I took the normal amount I would, but it satiated me and I was good and I was fine. It's amazing how it really does release the fat in your body into your bloodstream and give you the feeling of being satiated and full. That like when your body needs the nutrients and it wants you to feed it, well, when you're taking the HCG, you don't need to feed it because it's taking it from your natural um, fat reserves and going right into your bloodstream. And then I was fine and I wasn't hungry. And I'm actually good this morning, too. Of course, I did wake up and take my dose. But um, anyway, so I wanted to talk briefly about that. I don't know if that was brief. But the reason why I wanted to mention it is because it's another reason why you might eat when you think you're full. It's interesting because I wasn't hungry, like my stomach wasn't growling, and I kept trying to analyze it. I'm like, why do I want to eat? Why do I want to eat? And then I started thinking, is HCG partly placebo too? But then I'm like, no, but then it can't be because I forgot that I hadn't taken it and I was hungry. Whereas normally, if I would have thought I would have, if it was a placebo and I thought I took it, then later on, I would have told myself, you're not hungry, you're fine. And so I kept saying, I don't like my stomach's not growling. I'm not that kind of hungry, but I want to eat. I want to eat. So somehow, when I'm on HCG, it helps curb that I just want to eat. I'm not like starving. I'm not, my stomach's not growling. I'm not that kind of hungry, but I want to eat. Somehow HCG helps me with that. And I don't know exactly why. I really don't. It's very possible that it's because HCG is a hormone, and we know, especially as we age, that hormones play a big part in our weight retention and weight loss and everything with aging, especially for women. So maybe it has something to do with that. I will say that I have found myself a couple times going off HCG at the end of a round and almost hitting like a depression. Like it definitely affects my emotions, which reminds me I want to go contact some sort of a doctor who deals with hormones and talk to her about it because it's happened more than once. Like literally, I was in the car a couple days afterwards, forgetting that I was off it because it takes a while to get out of your system. So, like, you finish it, you feel good, you're lighter, you're thinner, everything. And one day I was driving, I'm like, I am just sad. And, like, I literally just started to cry. Like, why am I so sad? This is so weird. Yet, and this started the very first time I ever did HCG. While I was on HCG, my husband said he'd never seen me happier in my life. So even if it's a synthetic hormone, it is working the same as hormones, but you can't just keep taking it all the time. And I realized I was happier, but I thought it was just because I was losing weight, and I was happy that I was seeing pounds shed at a rate that I had never seen them shed before, that they were going much faster. Normally it's a very long struggle. Okay, many topics going on here. I apologize. Let me get to the issue at hand. And that is, what are the 10 reasons, according to this article, that are saying why you might still be hungry when you're full? Okay. Or still why you want to eat when you're full. Okay, one is you're dehydrated. The psychological causes of overeating can be a bit painful to look at, so we're going to start with the easiest part. Sometimes the desire to eat when you're not hungry is simply caused by dehydration. The solution? Drink a glass of water and see where you're at. This will work for a small percentage of people. However, those with real compulsive eating problems will need more than this tiny fix. Personally, I find that I try to drink all day long, and I also just do that because I've had a couple kidney stones in my life and a family history of them as well, and this is something I'm going to struggle with the rest of my life, and the best thing for me to do is drink, 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 drink. But I find that I feel more satiated if I have some sort of flavoring in my water. So maybe give that a try. If you're just a straight water drinker, try some of those sugar-free flavorings, because to me it almost, not that it feels like a meal, but it feels substantial. When I drink water, it doesn't feel substantial. It like makes me feel quenched of thirst and it makes me cool down in the summertime, but it doesn't give me that feeling of fullness that for some reason the flavorings do. All right, number 2, it's not out of sight, so it's not out of mind. Do you ever find yourself eating something just because it's there? Like when you walk into the office and see a bowl of candy, the same bowl that's always there. So you eat some even though you're not hungry. This is overeating caused by poor environment design. And fortunately, this one is easy to fix. Solution? Try rearranging your home and office to keep food out of view. Sometimes keeping things out of sight helps keep them out of mind. Again, this will work with a small percentage of people. Those with true compulsive eating problems will need to keep digging, so let's keep going. All right, let me talk about this briefly for a second. 100% agree with this for me. When I walk into my kitchen and somebody has something left out sitting there that they had eaten before, I don't know where I feel like that willpower just goes out the window. And I just like, I'll grab a little piece, or I'll have a piece, or I'll actually make a piece. I'll warm it up. Let's get this out of the house. So let me eat it up. I mean, I see it, I want to eat it. If I walk downstairs into the kitchen to get myself a drink and the kitchen's all cleaned up and there's no food around, I can, and I've been very good ever since I started HCG, that even if the pantry door is open, I can walk by it. It used to be a trigger of mine, pantry door open, because I didn't realize this until the very first time I did HCG. Every time I walked by the pantry, I stopped and looked just to see. I mean, often took something, but I would just kind of glance. Anything in here? Oh, where'd those chips come from? So I've gotten over that. Now this is gonna be much better for me and my diet. Actually, there was apple pie out the other day from the Amish country. It was out all day. It was in the refrigerator. Somebody ate some because there was all but one piece in the pie originally. So people were eating it, but they left one piece still in the pie tin. And it was out, and then I came back later and it was out, and I came back later and it was out, and I said, well, can I please put this pie away? Can I put it either on top of the refrigerator or back in the refrigerator? I don't know if somebody was planning on getting it to room temperature to eat it, but I needed to get rid of it. And they said, okay, so I stuck it on top of the refrigerator. So that's me. It's totally me. If I see it, I want to eat it. We adopted a cat from the shelter, which they think is about 4 years old, to get as a companion to our about 11-month-old kitten, who just wants to play all day. And we've been playing with it, but I have 2 children who are home for the summer who are going to be gone in the fall. And I thought, while they're home, now would be a good time to transition and bring in another cat so that they become bonded with the other cat as well. And it's not some stranger cat in the house when they come home. And he's amazing and wonderful. Fantastic. He's getting much more comfortable with his surroundings. I mean, he wouldn't even leave my bathroom, which is where we put him in for the first week to I went through the whole process of introducing the 2 cats to each other where they could hear each other, then they could kind of see each other, then they could see each other through a clear glass, and then eventually they got together. So he was in my bathroom with the doors closed for the longest time. And they're French doors, so you could kind of see. Anyway, doesn't matter. He wouldn't come out of there after the door was open for the longest time, would just stay in the bathroom, which is fine. Then eventually he came into the bedroom, the main bedroom here. And they're running around playing right now, just chasing each other around the room. So cute. Best $100 I ever spent was saving this little Chubbs. So Chubbs, which we named him after the Cleveland Browns player Nick Chubb, Chubbs eventually made it out into the bedroom, but he wouldn't venture out into the hallway at all. Okay, so progress forward. I'm gone for the whole weekend. While I was gone for the whole weekend, and because I teach my classes up, this bedroom is larger than it needs to be. I don't understand massive bedrooms. I would have rather had this be much more of a closet or added on to a second bedroom or storage in another. Anyway, maybe a woman designed it, but I don't think so. I think a man designed this. So I have my office in the corner of this bedroom, so I'm up here a lot for that. I do my scrapbooking stuff. As I said, I usually sit on the bed with a laptop thing. So I'm in this bedroom, this massive room, for a good portion of the day. Yes, I sleep here too, but whatever. he ventured downstairs for the first time. Ventured downstairs. He not only ventured downstairs, he started walking around. Every time I go downstairs, he comes down and he follows me too. Okay, great, right? That's all wonderful. That's fine. I was hoping that, well, maybe he'll just stay as an upstairs cat. But that's okay. So he comes downstairs. Except that the other day, I noticed that, um, all right, this is too much of a story. Bottom line, he's getting into the pantry and he's eating food now. He pulled out a bag of no sugar, like beef jerky, Slim Jim kind of things that were from Costco. It was sliced open. I don't know if he used his teeth or his nails. Got that bag open, and how did I know he had done that? Was I walked into the kitchen and on the floor there was one full stick, and they're only about this long. There was one full stick and there was one half a stick sitting on the floor. I thought that cat, and I look in the pantry and everything is all disheveled. The upside of this story is to tell you now in our house we must keep all food sealed and put away, and all pantry and closet doors completely closed. This is just good for those of us who are dieting, which I'm the only one dieting in my house, but I highly recommend if you can arrange your environment like this, because it really, really helps to have no temptations, because I see no food now every time I go into the kitchen. All right, I'm going to do number 3 because I said I was going to. I'll do this quick. I won't jabber on too much about it, although I could, but I won't. Number 3 is it's a special occasion. And I fall into this one again, this past month with all my special occasions that were happening. It says, special occasions are a common place to struggle with overeating. Even if you arrive to an event on a full stomach, your mind might start shouting, let's have some wine, let's have some cake, let's do all the things we're not supposed to do. Celebrations are fun, and if you deserve, celebrations are fun, and you deserve to live your life. But keep in mind that you do not need to eat to celebrate. Solution? There are plenty of other ways to express celebration than eating. Try hugs, good conversation, confetti poppers, not food. Okay, this one would probably be the hardest one for me. To be around food, to be in a celebratory mood, to have an occasion to celebrate, and to choose not to have any of it. I guess the key to this would be moderation. All right, we're going to stop there. We will start on reasons number 4, 5, maybe 6 tomorrow. I have to read through them first to see how long they're going to be. Thank you for sticking with me. This was a very long video with a lot of rambling, and I really should go back and record it, but I'm not going to. So my apologies. Maybe you can just kind of skip ahead. All right, I just clicked on the picture again. Oh my gosh. There is something wrong with this camera where it makes my whole face look like blotchy. Blotchy, that's what it looks like. My skin looks blotchy. My skin is not blotchy in the mirror. And for some reason, in my classrooms that I teach, my skin looks perfectly fine too. It doesn't look blotchy. So why is it doing this? I don't know. I'll figure it out. Stupid camera. Worst cameras. I tried an external camera. It was no better because it was high def too. I need to find a camera that has a soft filter on it. All right. That's all for today. I will see you tomorrow with an update on how we're doing. Let me know how you're doing, and let me help you celebrate you if you're doing a good job on your dieting. And if you're not, and you just need somebody to say that's okay, let me know. Write it down below. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel and this video, and hit the little bell. That means you'll get an email every time one gets posted, so you'll know. It'll have a link that you can click on and just instantly watch it, and you don't have to check back to see if I did a video on any given day. All right, that's all for today. You take care. Have a great day. Happy dieting. Bye.